October 1987, 2 p.m. Space. Space Shuttle Commander Lawrence Yeti performs routine maintenance on the hull of the Shuttle Enterprise. Suddenly, he feels a cough coming on. He coughs. A moment later, his feet fall asleep. The readings on his bodyometer confirm the worst. Space fever. Yeti needs to get back into his spacecraft immediately. He reaches for the shuttle door, but before he can get there, he loses his hearing. Now disoriented, he goes colorblind, then regular blind. Just meters away, the commander's crewmates, oblivious to his predicament, enjoy a playful afternoon space snack. Yeti's body temperature plummets. He vomits. Suddenly, he is filled with nostalgia. Then his ears start ringing, which he cannot hear because of going deaf earlier. He vomits again, and now starts the explosive diarrhea. In the next minute, his entire body will pop. As the shuttle commander drifts helplessly away from the Enterprise, we are left to wonder, will man ever truly conquer space? The answer is fascinating.
Space, a vast expanse stretching tens of hundreds of miles in almost every direction, tantalizing us with its celestial prowess and dark impracticality. The universe is a place filled with overwhelming beauty and bothersome danger. Throughout history, starry-eyed cosmetologists have gazed into the cosmos in hopes of finding answers to the fundamental questions of our existence.
For centuries, we have struggled with profound questions like, what is our place in the universe? What lies beyond space? Is there life on other planets? And if so, how do we kill it before it kills us? Questions like these have led us to so many amazing discoveries. We now know that most stars are not actually star-shaped. We've learned that Pluto is not actually a planet, but merely a planet. We know that comet powder can cure herpes, and we know that the moon is growing, while the Earth is dripping. And most recently, we've discovered that Mars has robots living on it. But despite our advances, we still only know a fraction of the known universe, and an even smaller portion of the unknown universe. When we look to space for answers, she simply responds, much like a drunken fortune teller, with more questions. This, perhaps more than anything, is what makes the cosmos so mysterious, even today. But how did it all begin? Well, it all started thousands of years ago, with a Big Bang, which we call the Big Boom. It is believed that in the pre-universe, some sort of tiny spark occurred, either by accident or by God, or perhaps by God by accident. This sent millions of tiny stars, planets, and galaxies into the awaiting emptiness of space. Then these tiny space bodies, most of them no bigger than pebbles or grapes, slowly began to grow, and over centuries, they steadily grew, feeding off the nutrients of the space particles around them, and eventually matured into the majestic interstellar giants of today. But what did this big boom sound like?
If you can imagine a sound 605 billion, trillion, thousand, million times louder than that, then you would be hearing something
That's about 1/4 the volume of the Big Boom. And it wasn't just, it was, we believe, something more like, think about that.
Our quest began long ago when ancient man first noticed space, initially by accident, then later by purpose, when curious elders stayed up at night in search of the missing sun. In the dark sky, they believed that stars were oil lamps of gods.
The first people to have answers about space were known as astronomers, from the Greek, astronomer, meaning he who gnomes astros. The heavens were first given true critical study by one of the earliest and brilliantest of these gnomers, Ptolemy in 170 AD. Ptolemy, known for the silent P at the beginning of his name, believed in a geocentric universe in which Earth was at the very center. Centuries later, Rudolf Copernicus hypothesized a heliocentric universe in which the universe, which contained the Earth, revolved around the sun. Shortly after, Deandre Kepler theorized that not only did the sun revolve around the Earth, but there were two suns revolving around the Earth in what was known as a duo-helio-geocentric universe. Not to be outdone, Copernicus then argued back that there were actually thousands of suns revolving around hundreds of Earths, each of those revolving around its own Sun-Earth hybrid in a milli-helio-geocentric universe. Enraged, Kepler responded, "Fine, how about there's no space?" And using the latest mathematical techniques of the time, he proved that there was no space at all. This led to a period that we now call the Dark Ages. The Church declared there was no space, and doctrine prohibited anyone from practicing the heretical art of astronomy, a time still described by astronomers today as
So dark.
now illegal. The practice of astronomy was relegated to hidden basements and secret clubs. Those who were caught practicing astronomy during these dark ages were often accused of practicing witchcraft, or worse, spacecraft. And many of them, like renowned astronomer Joan of Arc, paid for their illegal space studies by being burned at the stake in the notorious Salem witch trials. Still, there were those, like Albert Galileo, who would not give up on the dream of space travel.
For centuries, man had flirted with space, but now it was time to enter her.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition.
And this is where the story gets fascinating.
Next time on our fascinating planet.
Being wrong actually sometimes is a great thing. And this is the thing that we don't discuss a lot. But when you see them land a mission to Mars, you see the NASA control room clapping and applauding. They clap just as hard when there's a catastrophe because we've ruled out something.